Hello again folks, and welcome back. So we are approaching the Chinese and Lunar New Year, and to celebrating the build-up, this will be a first of a few dining experience videos that I have in store for you. So today I'm outside the current iteration of the London Cantonese dining and restaurant, that is Poon's, here at Somerset House along the Strand. It aims to be a continuation of where the original Poon's restaurants once left off, and that is to promise a somewhat more authentic and home-style cuisine within modern London. Chinese cuisine, London and authenticity are not often words you use in the same sentence amongst seasoned diners, so as you can imagine, the anticipation for this eatery is indeed palpable. So with the preamble out of the way, I shall see you all inside by the table. A menu here, and we've got the drinks and wine menu to go with it. So let's cast aside the beverage, the book of beverages that is, and have a quick whistle-stop tour of the Poon's menu. Simplified compared to your typical cha-cha-tings dotted around Hong Kong and even London Chinatown itself, so much more focused on what they specialise in, so it all looks very appetising to me. I've already, of course, in usual typical fashion, I have pre-selected what I will want to save time, but this is just for your reference. There you go. And just for those who are constantly thirsty like I am, here's a little tour of the wine menu, cocktail menu, and tea, of course. Take their tea very seriously here. An excellent selection here. I'm not a tea expert, but it all looks very high quality. Run through non-alcoholic and full-fat cocktails, if you're inclined. Won't be cocktailing in this vlog, I'm afraid. Yeah, so just a quick scan through here. There you have it. And some reds. Oops. There you go. It's quite an extensive wine list. It's very for a Chinese Cantonese style restaurant. Yeah, they take their beverages very seriously here. Yeah, very good. So this is a selection of small plates that they have. One of their signature items is the Wing Kei sausages. We have raw vegetables with a fermented tofu dip. So this is going to be a first one for me with the latter dish, of course. So let's get straight into this one. And just to remind you, the vegetables are raw. Get that in there. Of course, it's a cold dish. Here we are. Here we go. And in typical restaurant fashion, waiting staff always tend to arrive or speak to you when you have a mouthful of food. So I couldn't say thank you properly. But anyway, champagne has landed. We'll share tasting notes of that very shortly. So the fermented dip with raw cauliflower is quite interesting. The crunch from the cauliflower, you know what raw cauliflower tastes like, surely. The dip itself, yeah, certainly slightly pickled, fermented, salty and earthy as well. Certainly very bold as well. Quite fresh on the palate too, so that's slight that acidity. Right, so where do I go from here? There's some little not monster, are they? The sugar snap peas, just green beans. Let's give this a go. Very good. Okay, so let's give this champagne a taste. So it's from a champagne house called Wong Kei. Extra brut, so give it a little nose test. So medium, middle of the road, not too sharp, not too acidic, not too fruity, just a nice balance, so good. So on behalf of Poon's Restaurant Somerset House, Gong Hei Fat Choi. Tastes a lot fresher than its nose profile suggests. So yeah, very sharp, very light, fresh, and first quenching. So good match for the food that's to come. Okay, so I've taken quite a few nibbles out of these two dishes. I'm going to leave these on the side to accompany the rest of the food. They will make interesting little side dishes, I reckon. I don't want to eat them all in case I run out of room. I tend to have 2 more courses beyond this, so I need to pace myself. But it's very good. I've tried all the different vegetables there, the raw carrots, the cucumber, the radish, some of the, I believe of these the chicory, and those, sorry, I use my fingers here, but under there, they're not beans, they're most likely mange two or something along to that effect. Slightly thrown by the order of play here, so I've got my little dishes to keep me busy while I decide what to eat. That's the whole idea anyway. I've just had a little couple of sample bites of everything, and you of course see me relay my thoughts, whatever worth it is. Oh,
having a magic soup.
Super.
Very well.
Thank you. And as I say that, my actual starter course has landed. So this is called magic soup. It's an in-house speciality. No idea what's in it, so it's going to be a bit of a intriguing tasting experience, and I'm going to find out. Okay, here we go. So already I can see a very large slice of carrots in there, not raw of course, a variety of beans and some nuts in there too. So yeah, it looks very comforting. So I'm going to go for the first sip. Here we go. Actually, this is very familiar to something I have been given back at home with family. My lack of food knowledge is clearly showing right now. No tasting notes, no accompanying information to let you know what's in it, so yeah, just purely have to guess. So that flavour, I reckon it is lotus shoot even. So the more as I sit through this, the more yummy it gets, so it's certainly working its way onto the palate. And starter number 2 has landed. So sesame, lardo, and hand cut prawn puree. Deep fried, of course. I'll just open the inside cross section here. They already cut it to bite-sized pieces, so it saves you the hassle. I love the filling. It looks very generous amounts of air, very thick. Not your typical sort of prawn on toast affair. Yeah, it looks a little bit more authentic. Well, 2 things. First, it's very hot inside, so I was taken by surprise. Fresh prawns in there, the texture is springy, as you normally get with fresh prawns. Very good. Yeah, certainly cleaner on the palate compared to your common garden prawns on toast. I'm sure all these little dishes will add up, and I will struggle. So I'm not planning on dessert in this video. I don't believe there's going to be quite a fair amount of food to go around. So pudding will have to take a back seat, but you never know. I might find some inner resolve to fit that in. No accompanying sauces, just pure prawn and sesame and lardo. That's it. I get slightly thrown off the fact that there is no toast, there's no bread in there. It's purely just breadcrumbs, sesame seeds, and the filling itself. This is dangerously Moorish. If anyone served a platter of these in a house party, I don't think they will last very long. Got to be careful, they tend to fall apart as well, as the filling is so soft and tender. Wind-dried sausage along with the prawn. There we go. Tasting that side by side with the Wind-dried sausages goes very well. Alright, the final piece. And what with Miss Amy Poon having opened this restaurant within 3 months, Poon's restaurant still remains very much a bit of a baby amongst the grander landscape of London eateries. And as with the Arlington in St James's, I'm going to have to hark back to the older restaurants throughout the original era when they were run by Amy's parents. So Bill and Cecilia Poon from Hong Kong were somewhat unmoved by the offerings available back in 1970s Soho. Perhaps it was the rather typical and predictable items lifted straight out of the menus of an arbitrary Hong Kong cha-cha-teng of the era, and alas somewhat was very much of a muchness in terms of variety and authenticity. So they both decided to have a go themselves. So in 1973, Poon's restaurant first opened on number 27 Lyle Street in London Chinatown, and what they brought to the proverbial dining table was cuisine that was a lot more traditional and often cooked and eaten by generations before them back in Hong Kong and Macau. This would include family specialities such as wind-dried sausage, or also commonly known as lap suong, and of course staples such as rice is cooked in traditional clay pots, and of course there are a selection of in-house prepared chili oils and a variety of sauces to boot. So Poon's would be a relative success and followed up with sister restaurants over in Covent Garden in 1976. It was from then that Poon's really took off. It would be somewhat tacky and even, dare I say, vulgar to name drop, but you had personalities such as Frank Sinatra, Mick Jagger, Barbra Streisand, and in addition to that, Roger Moore and Sean Connery of 007 fame were all known to have enjoyed eating at Poon's restaurant in Covent Garden. And by 1980, Michelin inspectors were at the table. The restaurant itself was awarded 1 Michelin star, which back then was a very, very big deal considering the main area of focus of Michelin at the time, and the cuisine was anything but French. Bill and Cecilia would further expand and open up another restaurant, but this time in Geneva, Switzerland, and one more in the district, or the financial district of the City of London back in the early 1990s. So the London Cantonese culinary power couple would continue to turn the wheels at Poon's until they both decided to hang up their aprons 20 years ago in 2006. And my main course has landed. So this is the aforementioned clay pot cooked rice. That's a rather large portion, more than I need for an individual. But I'll see if I can make a dent on that. And you have a cuisine, so it's a young chicken, looks like it's been corn-fed, hence the yellow tone of the skin, but it's been poached, and then you have it dressed with a little bit of salad, and you have accompanying dips to enjoy the cuisine with. This it's quite similar to something I had back with my family. Not a cuisine, but a fully grown chicken, of course. But the overall approach to the dish is very much the same. So yeah, very authentic in terms of the way how this poultry is prepared. And let me just go for something a bit easier to handle, like a big piece of the chicken breast. So it's of course served on the bone, as you can see. I've got a choice of the chili oil, which is what Poon's has been famed for, and there is some other sauce as well, which I've forgotten. So my memory's like a sieve. So let me just try this one first, just as it's familiar. Oh, this is actually quite viscous. It's thicker than it appeared. Okay, I have a first bite. The cuisine, the chicken breast, is so tender, unbelievably so forgiving. I'm gonna have another piece. Sorry, just dip it into the sauce again. So yeah, it's ginger and oil. I'm sure it's just garnish, really. I'm not sure if it adds much to the overall eating experience, but yeah, presentation-wise, very lovely. Actually, this is very thin strands or scallions or spring onions, depending on where you are in the world. But yeah, lovely bit of freshness to accompany the chicken. Got my bowl, eat this the right way. Get some rice onto the bowl. Again, cooked in the traditional clay pot. So you've got a choice of the standard steamed rice and the old way, or the proper way if you're a purist. Not too much, don't want to overfill the bowl. And then let's work through the chicken. So, of course, it's on the bone, so I'm going to have to sort of work with it. Let's try the drumsticks. Now, because these are young poultry, so the size of the drumsticks are, of course, proportionally in that respect. So, I'm hoping this doesn't slip off the chopstick. I rather like that ginger sauce, so I'll try a little bit more of it. Okay. It's just the most tender piece of poultry you could want, really. So I'm just going to dress a little bit of oil onto it with a spoon. I know it's going to be people in the comment section moaning, either way I'll do it, so let's try it again with the chili oil. Yeah, plenty of heat in there. 30 packs of punch, yeah. The jasmine rice, nothing stands out, it's just jasmine rice, but there to absorb all the flavours and juices from the accompanying food. So I'm going to actually throw in a few of the wind-dried sausages to that soon into the bowl. There you go. Okay, so let's try another piece of the chicken breast. It's probably easier to have this if you don't want to use your fingers and you're not particularly confident on chopsticks, when just eating the chicken breast is perhaps the most accessible cut. And these chopsticks are, as nice as they are, they're not the most grippy, so extra care and attention is needed. A quick palate cleanser. I did actually have a pleasant conversation with the co-owner of Poon's here at Somerset House. Name is husband, and he is from a wine champagne background, so yeah, felt slightly, okay, someone who knows about a thing or two about wine, so but he's very friendly and explained the choices they made in terms of what beverages that are on the menu that are not just different but distinctive in its own merit to justify pairing it with the food they have on offer. A lot of thought has gone into the wine and champagne selection, although I'm not going to obviously go through all the items there, and I'm only scratching the surface in terms of the food as well, so I'm going to have to just take their word for it. The chicken is actually served at room temperature, which is very traditional. It's never cooked and served straight off out the pan. Let it cool down, and then it's just eaten traditionally with hot rice. Similar to if you go to some of the cha-cha-tangs, like the Wong Kei's and other Chinese Hong Kong diners, they always generally serve barbecue meat, like your chopped belly of pork and roast duck, generally room temperature. That's just the way it is sometimes. Oh, there's dropped chicken there. These flavoured oils definitely lift the chicken up. We've not done anything to the chicken itself. There's no marinade or anything like that. It's just good quality poultry, and then they're cooked just about enough so it's tender. Right, there is the thigh, which is always generally the most prized cut. So let's dip this piece into the oil. You notice I'm eating more of the chicken with this oil opposed to the chili oil. I think it just pairs up with it a little bit better, in my opinion. Well, that was the most succulent cut out of the entire cuisine, of course, as generally the thigh is. You could say I'm halfway through the meal now. Actually, there is hope. I reckon I can finish most of this mains. I was worried there's a bit too much and didn't want to risk bringing it home on a doggy bag either. Okay, let's get through some of this rice. it's picked up some of the residual sauce, the oils, the dips, so it gives the rice a bit of more flavour. That's the idea. Some more wind-dried sausages. Yeah, I'm nearly done with these now. Very Moorish. Another piece of chicken. Let's just go back towards the chili oil. The actual chopped chilies in there gives a lovely deep red, dark red colour. I must be honest, it's not easy to vlog when you're eating this type of cuisine. You've got little dishes spread out all over the place, and you're using chopsticks, which can be sometimes a bit of a challenge with certain food, and you're trying to also present it at the same time. I don't know, I managed to do it in my previous vlogs, but I don't know, I seem to be struggling today. Nice, very, very tiny little chicken wings as well. They're not chicken, cuisine wings. My apologies. There you go. And yeah, I think I've used my fingers to eat these, so I'll cast these aside. So that was Poon's restaurant at Somerset House along the Strand, and I hope I did that one justice. Apologies, there is no dessert in this video. There was a lot of dishes that I went through. I wasn't sure whether I was able to fit in a fifth course in there, so maybe one day I'll find the resolve to do that. You come here for the main cuisine, the main course, the more savoury dishes itself. Anyway, I'm waffling. So it's a very unusual location to have a Chinese restaurant, let alone something that promises a far more authentic example of the cuisine, built inside a very vast Georgian cultural and art hub within London. So it's a grand building, so it feels like more of a university campus, if anything. Thanks for watching. I'll look forward to following again with the next video, which will be coming along soon. So until that time, you all take care now.